make sure my audio is good. Seems like it is. Yeah. Today I'm doing something a bit different. I've decided to put my switch on my phone so I can get an accurate view of what my stream looks like. I'm doing the level 100 party maps, but I'm doing them entirely solo, just to try and get one of the weapon coffers, which I have been really wanting for my Dark Knight. So I sort of decided I'm just gonna do, what is it? Basically go until I either get a weapon coffer or if I spend 1,000,000 gil. So maybe I should make that a quick text source. And need to fiddle around with it a little bit. Try and pick which font I like. One that looks very similar to 14's. Good enough. I have this slightly backwards. Yeah, it's almost perfect. Oops. There. That should hopefully be not too hard to see. Maybe I'll put it right here. I can just, that is not what I'm looking for. I'll do one more little thing. There. That way my current gill is now visible. May have to mute occasionally because it feels like I'm about to sneeze every once in a while. Oh. Yeah, I guess start off on the first map. Maybe I should also add a bonus. Nah, I'll do that. Considering adding just a counter for how many maps I've done, like maybe I should. That's getting in the way. Yeah, I can just manually change it maybe. Okay. Do. So, first map. Luckily, I actually know exactly where that is. Ended up buying food just to make it a little bit easier to do. I'm only going to go with roughly 1,000,000 gil. Because obviously I'm going to be spending a few thousand on all the teleports and stuff. But otherwise, the rest of the 1,000,000 is just going to be purely from buying maps. I'm also going to be popping up Universalis to look for where they're the cheapest. Stance. I want my Chocobo to be in Attacker. Here's the coffer. With this, you want to be really quick. Okay, it looks like I don't have a bad pattern. Luckily. Looks like stream is actually running pretty well for once. My issue really was just that I had... what's it called? I'm forgetting the name now. Wallpaper engine in the background while I was trying to stream it before. It was probably just eating up resources that the game needed. Now this can kind of get close to running out of time. I've had a few like that. Now one tip for Warrior is that you actually do more damage single target once you get down to 2 enemies, so you typically want to start switching to a single target rotation once you get down to 2, which also helps speed it up so you don't end up running into the timeout. and I'm like min-maxing it a little bit. Like I'm using my, what's it called, damnation specifically for damage in addition to mitigation. Because every hit I take is an extra 55 potency of damage. For my actual healing, I go with Bloodwetting. Now I am trying to mostly avoid AoEs. I can probably eat quite a few of them, just going off of how much Bru's health is doing fine. Now with this, with the double 4, you're actually pretty well in a good spot. Because that means you only have 2 groups of enemies to deal with. Now, I don't know what all, in terms of tanks, can do solo 90 party maps. Warrior is the only one I can say for sure. I don't have any other tanks at 90 right now. I'd say Paladin probably can. The question is the damage output. Like, I'm running this with food at Bis War. So, it's kind of hard for me to die. Honestly, if the other ones are viable, then I would probably consider them as better options, just because it is very long and tedious to do one map, let alone sets of maps. Maybe I do a little bit of research sort of stuff. Marking down what special drops I get, how many portals I get, all that sort of stuff. The one map, no portal. I think I'm actually gonna quickly do that. Map number. Portal. Rare loot. And what loots? On to map number 2. I might as well try and make it vaguely interesting in that sort of way. Now, I've started off with 3 maps right now, but let's see. I'm not a fan of trying to find this one. Oh, I think I found it right about here. Now, ideally, I'd like to be very lucky and just get as many maps in the same zone as possible, but I'm not really banking on that. One thing I'm kind of considering is just a option of content. I'm kind of want to try and make this content rather than just streaming. Not entirely sure yet though. Is an idea of first try speedrunning. Basically, the gimmick is see how fast I can speedrun a game the first time trying to speedrun it. Like, I get 0 practice. I can watch all the speedruns I want, tutorials, etc., but as soon as I start the game, I have to just try and get through it as fast as I can possibly get on my own. I am then locked out of any and all resources, but, like, I can study and all that. Just to see how, to show off how accessible speedrunning is in general. But I need to actually probably record it as more of like a proper thing for YouTube. So I'm not entirely sure on it. Alright. Oh, I need to... Okay, I don't have to get off to dig. Alright, good pattern again. I have my cat in my way now. Bit hard to see. I don't know if you can hear her. You probably can't. I have been watching a lot of videos on just random TikTok trends that are just really weird. One I really... You lay down? Comfortable. Quit licking my arm. Thank you. One is the concept of water talk, where people basically make the furthest thing possible from water. And my cat is insisting on trying to lick my arm while I'm trying to do this. It tickles a lot. Anyway. Where people essentially make the furthest possible thing from water, looking more like, you know, one of my pots from parading, basically, and still call it water. Like, it's honestly absurd just how much sugar people will put in their drinks and try to pretend it's healthy. Like, it's also the argument for it still somehow being water, despite, at this point, it being only there in spirit. You just get, like, the ghost of the water at that point. It's like, basically by the same idea of it's still water, I basically am constantly drinking water. It's just highly caffeinated and I have milk and sugar in it. And it's definitely not coffee, because it was made with water. Then it also led me into the rabbit hole of how bad, like, Dunkin' Donuts and stuff, like, their coffees are. It's like, I thought I'd put a lot of sugar in my coffee, like, make it very sweet. I do, like, 2 scoops of sugar and then some sweeter, what's it called, creamer. Then I saw a video of some of them, and it's like, the amount of sugar, it's... I don't even know how to describe it. It's... Basically felt like I was gonna get diabetes just watching it. Where once again, it's essentially a sugar bomb with a hint of coffee in it. It's at the point you may as well just down sugar water. Alright, looks like we're about to head into my next portal. Hey! And I actually said portal. Yeah, I should swap out studio mode so that can be live updated. Alright, into the first portal of the night. Oh yeah, I should also add furthest room. There we go. So I'm now kind of interested in the stats of it. This was sort of brought on by watching some more limit testy type stuff. Oh yeah, there are some things I ended up picking up over my time doing solo maps, because I've done quite a few at this point. First thing is, when you're on your second and on map, the way you want to do it is usually you go for only one of them, and it's not just because of a little bit of optimization of single target instead of AoE onto. It's because when it's two enemies, when the first one, well, when either of them get down to half health, it will spawn a group of enemies, so it's far safer just to focus on burning down only one of the two, and then you can move on to the other one without getting 2 packs of mobs on you. Like, it's not super dangerous, I don't think, but I'd rather just not risk the kill by making the assumption it'll be fine. Now, in general, I do just like to use food. Just because it's fairly cheap. And having a little bit faster of kill times is just nice. It sort of adds up over time. Especially considering how long it takes to get just one pack of mobs down. And for the bigger ones, I believe they spawn a pack at around half? No, probably about a third health gone, and then the second one at another third of the health gone. So once you get them down to a third of the health, you can stop going for them, burn down the pack, go for the second pack, and then burn that one down. And it is very safe because when you're actually in the map, it isn't too dangerous. I've made a few mistakes here and there, sort of not paying attention to my health, and I have yet to be kicked out, but I think safety is probably the better way to go anyway. Yeah, if you see Mandragoras, don't even bother with them. There's no way you can burst them down. At least I haven't found a way I can burst them down as a warrior. I've tried. If I'm lucky, I feel like it could be possible if you save Inner Release and a bunch of onslaughts for Mandragoras, so that way you can get the damage in. Every time, my best end up being where I got the Mandragora Queen as the last alive rather than 2 of them getting away. Though usually it is 2 that manage to escape. I also found a little trick to keep constant uptime is just to look for the endpoint of these guys when they're doing their dash. You sort of pre-position yourself in between GCDs, so that way hopefully you can get them all in one once they make their way over. I'm not entirely sure how hard they actually hit, though. Because, obviously, I'm not going to eat AoEs unless I'm totally sure I'll be fine. And without a proper healer, it just seems a little too dangerous. Now, I haven't really figured out any... Okay, so nothing special from this one. I'm just kind of tossing anything that isn't one of the rare materials. Now let's go... I always go left. It's been sort of... Well, obviously it's been 50-50 on whether or not it works, but... Alright. That's chamber 2. Got very lucky there. I've gone to chamber 4 quite a few times. I've yet to get to chamber 5. I have gotten some really good loot drops so far. I've gotten the corduroy felt. I ended up getting 6 from a gamble. I got one of those rainbow gem things that are worth almost $1 million. I've won about 20 eggs so far. Mammonite, I think it's called. But Mammonite is worth, like, what, 100 gil maybe per? Maybe 1,000 gil, I think actually it is. So it really just isn't lucrative. I'm sure eventually the price is going to go up. It's just the most common out of these maps right now. So I don't know if they're going to go up before the next expansion. Sort of like the Fabric of Happiness finally went up with Dawn Trail. Now I primarily use Damnation for damage. And I only spend my onslaught on these guys just to keep this guy from getting too low. Because it does really add up. Oh, Streamlabs is being weird to me. It just kinda went all black. So I cannot see chat right now. And since I'm in the middle of a mob pack, I'm going to have to fix that after. I do not want to waste this map by getting killed. I feel like considering how safe it's been for Warrior, it's probably not too bad for other jobs. Other tanks, rather. There we go. I managed to take a moment to quickly fix that. Now, assuming I'm correct, at around 33% or so, he should be spawning the next pack. Oh. Yep. Looks like I am roughly right. Just under 30%. I specifically want the coffer for my Dark Knight, and that is the only one I want it for. I only really like the Dark Knight one. The rest are just kind of okay. I'm honestly not a fan of the gag weapons. Like, they're fine, but they're not things I would personally use. Honestly, the Dark Knight one feels the most like a relic, basically. Especially considering it gets really cool glowing effects. I really wish other jobs got that level of high quality. I don't know what Streamlabs is doing. I almost feel like I need a POV. People can see exactly what's going on with it. All of the other bonus things are not too much of a challenge. Oh, Mammonite. That is one rare loot, an egg. Which, like I said, I have a lot of on my retainer. Alright, let's see if I get to part 3. Not looking good. Yay! Rainbows. It is pretty nice that I end up making Warrior my main, because it just makes this so easy. Honestly, the reason I've been so into doing map... Oh, hey, I met slightly more than I started. Anyway, the reason I... Oh, here's exactly what I was talking about with the other thing you should be doing if you want to do solo maps like I am. You focus on only one of these. You do your single target, rotation, opener, whatever. That way they spawn theirs. And then you can move on to the next. Onto the pack. And I just completely ignore the second one. The only damage I do to it was the incidental damage from Primal Rend and whatever the Fury was. Oops, I should have been re-upping my Surging Tempest. This is annoying. I kind of want to level up another tank just to run it for next tier. I have really been enjoying tanking as my main job, and main tanking as my job. It's honestly nowhere near as hard as I was expecting it to be. When I first thought about tanking, I thought it would be a lot more challenging and complicated. Though, the first time I truly paid attention to what tanks have to do was the amount of focus needed from tanking in, what was it called? DSR. Like how specific all the tanking is with all the mitts and stuff, so... Yeah, no, it's Honestly, easier than DPS was. Because with DPS, you have the extra challenge of keeping your rotation going, which, for me, is a bit of a challenge. Because I pretty much always have to stare at my hotbar. Alright, let's finish this one off, move on to the next. I don't remember if gold dust gives you a debuff for anything. Now, one thing I started to enjoy doing is waiting until the last second of Damnation popping Shake It Off. Just for the little bit of bonus shield. It's not like it's necessary or anything, it's just when you're sitting here doing nothing but hitting a pack of way too healthy mobs, having a little something to put your mind on is just nice. You know, this is borderline at just chatting stream, honestly. A little bit of background B-roll. It usually takes at least 20 minutes per map if you get lucky with doors. As you can definitely see by the duration of this dungeon. I have gotten a lot better on one aspect of Warrior now, which is keeping my Onslaught on cooldown. For the longest time, I struggled to remember to even use it. And the solution was really, really easy that I just didn't think of. This here used to be a blank slot on my hotbar, just like right here. And I keep having to look up here for Onslaught. So now I just toss it here. It's right beside Upheaval, so I can just remember it. Gambler's Lure. But nothing good in it. Okay, I'm not trying with a 5. Even if there's nothing good. I'm gonna take that Gem Draw of Strength, though, and... yeah, that one's not a special door. I'm gonna keep the Gem Draw of Strength just for an opener. Because why not go for a little bit of extra damage? It's free. Nothing like drinking some drugs you found on the ground in a strange room. One with alarms. Great. That is room 3. On to my third map of the evening. Go Pacha again. That is right here. Now my... oh yeah, I should probably switch this to... 3 maps. Hopefully the amount of actual gil isn't too distracting. Mind you, I have not made any profit so far. My starting gil was minus the 3 maps I already have, which cost about, let's see, 180,000 gil, roughly. Let's get my... Oh, I was also out of food. Here, let's go grab my next coffer. I usually end up just kind of having a YouTube video or... Oh, hey, another set of double... Alright, let's just pop this, because, you know, it's free! No reason not to use free damage. Yeah, my go-to is just kind of listening to random YouTube videos, sort of like a podcast, or just straight up watching them. And then kind of chilling, hitting the mobs. It does get a little bit down to the wire occasionally, depending on what sort of pack, but I have not yet actually run out of time. Usually the lowest... Actually, I think the lowest I've had was 20 seconds left on the timer. So I am looking forward to, what's it called? The Game Awards. Not for any of the actual awards or anything, but specifically because I want to see all the new announcements. Which is why I'm planning on streaming them when they come up. I'm especially looking forward to Warframe 1999, which is the main reason I started actually considering even watching it. One thing I'm surprised about is Palworld getting so far on the People's Choice. It feels almost like it's nothing but spiteful to Nintendo. But people are very upset about it from what I've seen, that their favorite game is losing out to Palworld. Honestly, Palworld is a fun game. Bit of a shame they apparently have to change the way they send PALs out now because of the whole lawsuit thing. From what I remember, there was some... I think it was GTA mod that actually has a chance of setting a precedent for the whole Powerball throw out into the world thing as being a concept out there in the world before it was patented. But I don't know all about that. I'm not a lawyer or anything, obviously. If I was, I don't think I'd be just grinding maps at 14. Or would I have time to raid? It is annoying how Nintendo, rather than trying to make a better Pokemon game, they're just kind of going after the game that sort of given players sort of thing they want. Okay, no portal from this one. Alright, let's head back to my FC house, which is right in front of a market board, which is why I'm teleporting there. It's even faster than going to Limsa. They are so expensive. Mountain Linen is generic. That. Wait. New egg can go in my retainer. 24 now. And let me pop open Universalis. Shout out to Universalis, because they've saved me quite a bit of gil. Looks like currently there's a place with cheaper maps. Far cheaper maps compared to Ada. Cactar. Assuming whoever updated it didn't just buy all the maps from there. Adamantoise is actually the currently most expensive place for maps. Looks like that is not the right one. Oh yeah, those are cheap compared to the other maps. It's always the weekend that they get the most expensive. Oh yeah, I end up rebuying this guy, which I sold for about 1,000,000 gil more than I just rebought it for. That's a nice profit. Alright, let's pull Streamlabs back up, my spreadsheet back up. Here, on to my fourth map, which is in Heritage Found. Looks like it is right here. I am not half bad at locating most of the map spaces. Okay, you are still in attacker stance. Fantastic. Alright, and the map should be right here. Ended up doing a proper map party last night, and I realized just how slow it is to do solo maps. But with solo maps, you know you are getting exactly what drops, no matter what. I saw one... No, I think I saw like 5 of those coffers drop in one map night, so I kinda started doing this. I just didn't want to stop doing maps, but I wasn't gonna force anyone else to do maps with me. I'm only avoiding Glow. Okay, it looks like this version of Glower doesn't give a stun effect. Which is nice. Which means I could, in theory, just kind of sit in it. I can actually just kind of sit in all of this. That barely does damage to me. I'm basically kind of using my Chocobo as a way to gauge whether or not it's dangerous or not. watching another video on a weird trend of people just kind of eating clay. One of the prevailing theories I've heard about it is, you know, mineral imbalance or something. We're like, by just kind of craving specific ones, they turn to eating dirt for them, but such a bizarre practice. Apparently it is a surprisingly common thing for humans to do. Alright, pack number 2. Ever so slightly concerned because I'm at 2 minutes left with this pack. I did set it to attacker stance, yeah. I don't think I did anything wrong compared to what I normally do. Trying to think if I screwed anything up. There's gonna be a third pack. I might not complete this one. Okay, no. Hey, a portal. Map number 4. Yes, portal. Yeah, I was getting nervous. Okay, toss out the lumber. Toss out the chromite ore. Toss out the quick arm materia. And I already screwed up my opener. Fantastic. Tank and Savage, by the way. One thing I'd kind of consider is going into the Party Finder mines for, what is it? Some of the old extremes. Reminds me, I've got to do re-clears next week, too. How long my stack's gonna end up deciding to stick with re-clearing? I don't know how many weeks into Savage we are now. I have, what, 13 of these books, and I end up trading a handful of them for other stuff, so... Oops. That was not a combo action. Or drawing a blank on stuff to say. I end up doing some, what was it? making a bunch of bread today, or at least preparing it. I'm making like 3 loaves of the knight's bread from the 14 cookbook. I ended up making it a little while back, and it was pretty good. I wasn't entirely sure if I made it totally right. I wasn't sure if it's supposed to be quite as dense as it ended up being, or if I might have screwed something up a little bit. Yeah, now I've made 3 loaves. Go with an upcoming dinner, basically just use them as bread bowl for chili. Hopefully it goes better. They end up getting a Dutch oven that I could use. Just had access to use, rather. I was actually quite surprised at just how expensive some Dutch ovens could end up being. Like, they can be hundreds of dollars just for one. But apparently you do get what you pay for when you buy a very quality one. Also, it's weird that Pyrex has kinda gone to crap. From what I recall, they've sort of gotten rid of their original... What was it? I'm drawing a blank on the type of glass it was. It's the same glass they used to use on railway lights to keep them from shattering in the rain. I'm gonna have to Google that as soon as I'm done with this pack, because it's gonna bug me. That's the annoying thing of having all kinds of useless facts and ADHD. One will just kind of come up, but not quite enough of one. So you just kind of annoy yourself more than anything. Trying to remember what the actual full fact was. It comes off like you barely know the fact yourself, which, I mean, kinda. Nothing special. Borosilicate glass, that's what it is. Now I'm not annoying myself. Yeah, they swapped to a new one that is a bit more prone, or actually I think it's fairly more prone to shattering from heat, rather the thermal difference. Not specifically heat, just the sudden changes in thermal whatever. Alright, time to pot. There we go. It didn't actually go off properly. Surely this is fine. I can get all my stuff out in the pot window anyway. So it's... looks to be about 70 that it pops at. Rather than 60. I also want to cook more stuff from the Final Fantasy cookbook. They don't do a ton of baking, but it's just kind of neat. Last night, The servers are struggling a lot in 14. Ended up getting booted out a few times. Probably just another DDoS. I should check the lodestone. So added a new thing to the Mog shop. Ooh, Alpaca of Fortune. Quit running from me. These aren't as hard to kill. They run around for quite a while. Tons of clusters, which I don't really have use for, but I can always just kind of drop them in my FC's chest for the people that actually craft stuff. I do need to get my my crafters up to 90, or at least not 90, 100. My main crafter anyway, goldsmith. I am hoping that during the Game Awards, Mecha Break gets more, gets an announcement. I have been looking forward to when it comes out. I did play the, what was it, closed? Is it closed beta or open beta? I think it might have been closed. Or at least closed for a while? Something like that. I ended up playing it and quite enjoying it. It was kinda absurd though, because one of the mechs you can play just has a straight up aimbot sniper and can go invisible. So as long as nobody straight up went to try and bully me, I was just sniping everyone. End up being MVP quite a few times as the sniper. So I didn't even know it had a lock on at first. I was just playing it like every other sniper and first-person shooter. Apparently, it's gonna get a story or something? I don't know much about that. Okay, another egg. I don't need the leather. Don't need the gold ore. Hey, Chamber 3! Nice and clean and easy. The other one I quite enjoyed in Mecha Break was... what was it called? Was it the Stego? I know it had some sort of dinosaur name. You basically planted yourself down somewhere and... basically you're anti-everything. You even had a shield and whatnot, but you just put yourself out of the way and... kind of prevented people from doing basically anything. Oops, that should have been single target. Oh well. playing a bit of the healers. I wasn't a big fan of most of them. I don't really think I was much of a fan of any of the healers. They were... Some of them were a lot better than others. Let's just make my healing a little bit more potent. Yeah, gold dust basically does nothing. Doesn't seem to actually give me any sort of debuff or whatnot, so I think it's fine. Eat. I love Bloodwetting. It might be one of my favorite abilities in the game next to, Midare. Nothing quite like being able just to shrug off basically near death amounts of damage in a single hit. End up seeing a really interesting game recently. It's called Fractal Block World or something like that. Its name is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's just not a very catchy name. Basically, this is a really good simulation of fractals in general, where you can essentially infinitely dive down into smaller bits of fractals, and always found fractals kind of just interesting to watch. Just weirdly satisfying. You kind of wish I ended up getting into streaming much earlier. I used to be really good at just kind of rambling about random stuff. Keeping dialogue going for pretty much constantly. Not quite as good at it now. I've sort of... Basically gotten a whole lot less social. Luckily being, like, spending time just raiding with my raid group and hanging out with them has... Well, and some of my other friends that aren't directly part of the raid group, I consider them raid group adjacent. But it's definitely helped me come out of my shell more over the past 2 years, so I am quite grateful for that. I don't like my voice, though. I have fully determined that. When I listen back, it sounds like I'm barely out of high school still. It's just way too high. I don't know why. It almost feels like when I'm streaming, my voice unintentionally just gets too high. Whereas when I'm hanging out chatting with my friends, it's lower. It's weird. I'm sure it might even be noticeable if you look at my streams of DSR prog when I'm... It's like hanging out, chatting, whatnot. I think I do want to eventually do is try and get more clips of my stream. Maybe learn to try and determine what might be entertaining to others from my stream, rather than my usual not thinking my streams are very interesting sort of thing, and just kind of doing them for fun. Oh, honeysuckler. I'm keeping that craftsman's. egg honeysuckler. That's two nice, well, I'd say nice. Two decent drops. Okay, am I gonna get kicked out or... No! Yay! On to, I think this is chamber number 4. Yes, it is. Wait, I probably should eat food soon, because I might actually... Yeah, I'm out of it. End up spending a fair bit of gil on food, just because I didn't want to be using raid food on this. Like, the raid food my statics crafters spent their time crafting specifically for raid. So I wanted to spend my own money on it. The same reason I'm only using the free pots. Let's see if I can actually knock them down to... Okay, no, I screwed that up. I thought I was about to pop over to the pack of mobs, but I was mistaken because he has a whole lot more health, being chamber number 4. Okay, there we go. The weirdly bladed squirrels. And I gotta be careful-ish of these guys. They're a little bit more annoying to deal with their constant mini half-rune cleaves. I think I've gotten more Chamber 4s solo than I have with people, at least on my own maps. I'm sure I've seen more Chamber 4s just in general, but not from my own maps. On to the next set of mobs. Oh, never mind. Not onto the next set of mobs, onto the big boy. You are not allowed to sleep. It is punishable by death. Evidently. I don't think I've had any specific issues trying to kill the Ulan of Fortune. I pronounce it Ulan for whatever reason. I don't think that is technically right. But quick arm. Don't want the quick tongue. Don't want the battle dance. These I will keep, though. They are worth some not bad gil. I'm planning on keeping them until the new accessories for crafters drop, because that's when the prices are going to be up the highest. I have started getting into a band called Creepy Nuts. I'm sure most people will have heard about them by now, just because of them doing the opening to, what's it called, Dandadan? I think it is. I actually haven't watched it. I haven't felt like really watching a new shonen. I haven't even ended up reading it either. Because One Piece is about as much as I will go for, which I am currently reading weekly. Well, there's also Undead Unluck that I end up usually checking on occasionally. Undead Unluck is a fantastic one. It honestly has one of the more interesting power systems I've seen in a series in general, with the negators. I won't get into too much, because, like, each individual negator's ability is roughly kept secret. You only learn the main two protagonist ones early on. But the concept of just being able to straight up negate the rules of the universe is just really interesting, because it sounds super simple. Like, being able to negate death, it sounds like, it would just basically be Deadpool, in essence. But then you actually see what's done with it, where the regeneration becomes an actual weapon itself. I am not winning this one, probably. Nope. Called it. Alright, into the vault. Final vault attempt. I don't have great faith in seeing a Chamber 5 on any of my solo runs, but hey, if I do, then I will be pretty happy, and I'm also going to be very concerned, because I have not seen number 5. Oh, number 5! Solo Final Chamber! Ooh boy. I'm actually gonna spend one of my proper pots on it. Wish me luck. I can just do this. One of the things. Voila! Cat blocker's gone. I want a screenshot of it. Alright. I don't know if I can solo this, but let's see, party countdown. Okay, it's gonna vanish. Aha. Use that at a perfect time. That holds me on my dash for longer. Oops, I already screwed up my opener burst. Kinda. Alright, let's block the Tank Buster with a good defensive. I don't think this thing will have an enrage or anything, hopefully. So as long as I just don't die, I should be pretty well fine. Oh, it did not try to run for a second jump. That's a surprise. Okay, good. There's no lingering puddle. I didn't think to check if that would be a lingering puddle. And since there's no party buffs to worry about, I can, just go right for... Oh, what's this? Okay, that's just a general AoE. I don't need to, like, stack with anyone? I don't know what this is. Okay, those are puddles. Growing puddles. Luckily, I don't have to worry about avoiding anyone. It does restrict me, but... I'm gonna pop that for healing. Knit the raid wide. So long as it's not any harder than this, I'm gonna be fine, because it's almost at 50%. And this mechanic isn't too hard to read solo. I'm gonna actually pop a mid on it. And it can double as bonus healing. Okay, I've got to bring him back up to the front. I still have my food up. I just want to make sure I didn't have to worry about that. Alright, my next 1 minute I will pop a bonus pot just to... ensure I don't have to spend as long in the fight. I'm using 2 mitts just to ensure it doesn't hit too hard. Okay, that actually wasn't as hard as I was expecting. Maybe it's just because I'm too used to the damage of Savage, where a single unmitigated tank buster will pretty much one-shot you. I typically need to pop Damnation and Blood Wedding at the same time. Alright, get this back up. Pot again. not like this really changes anything, I'm sure. Because it looks like it'll just be the same. Just wanting me to spread away from the no party I don't have. I know. Stack up for that. Kind of interesting seeing all the mechanics it actually has. Bit of a force of habit. Okay, it's probably going to jump to center, so... Oh, nope. First it's AoE, and then jumping to center. Don't want to end up losing out on that. Oh, that did exactly 1 damage. That is oddly satisfying, honestly. So I wasted some gauge that I could have gotten. How much gauge did I waste? 10. Let's put it over here. And I love just how healer a war can be. I was worried at first, but it looks like... I want to take a screenshot of it, actually. Being killed solo. I kind of want to go off in one Discord I hang out a lot in. Ooh. Good thing I got there in time. I almost missed it. Could have been bad if I picked the wrong edge. Now, if I do get lucky with my final chest drop, I will do as the title suggests and end. But I don't exactly have faith that that is going to happen. And that's why I sort of made it the whole gimmick of the stream. So I'm going to toss these. Ensure I have more than enough space. I got it. Let's go. Holy crap. I got it, and I did it solo. Oh, I am so happy. Okay, so, egg, honeysuckler, and pigmental coffer. Furthest room, 5. I was not expecting to actually get that. Oops, I accidentally hit my... I'll take a quick... photo at the end, just as a little mini commemoration. Oh. That popped back up. It went to G pose. Well, that is it then. I have completed my gimmick of the stream. Alright, I guess I will honor my stream title of running 100 maps solo until either I win a coffer or lose 1,000,000 gil. And do all my wrap-up. Yeah, I was not expecting it to go quite this well. End up just turning out into a just rambling stream. A little bit of advice on running the map solo. Then getting super lucky getting to the 5th chamber and getting the coffer. Winning the coffer just saved me about 10 to 11 million gil. Oh yeah, I should probably open it on my favorite... Oh yeah, I sort of picked this outfit for the meme of the actual full-on knight. But let me head over to Shiro, where I can throw on a better outfit to go with my new sword. Actually, maybe I should quickly make a proper sword to go with it. A proper glam. I'm gonna post the screenshot of my glam on my Discord, which you guys can find here. Where I will also chat the community, give updates and plans for the stream itself. I'm just putting on something temporary. I don't really have anything that would be especially good with it, I don't think. I'm just gonna put on my casual and... Figment of Spring. Let's go. That one is just the best. Like, look at the effects on it. I'm so happy. And yeah, I don't think there's a single thing on that list that I want otherwise. Taking a quick glance. Yeah, the only other Figmental thing I have even a slight interest in would be the Fairy one or Figment of Showtime. Those are the only two, and Figment of Showtime would just be more of a... Oh no, never mind. I'm actually looking at it, and I am not a big fan of it. Okay, so yeah. I got the one thing I really, really wanted out of the entire thing. Oh wait, no. Figment of Journey would be my second choice that I'd want. Just because it looks like a perfect summoner book. And I was a summoner main. But on to my next piece of plugging. My YouTube, where you can find all my VODs. And this one will be up there too. So if you came in late, missed a stream, want to see my old streams there, you can find them all here. And Twitter Actually end up doing my spiel now of how I hate AI, but it's a thing. I moved to Blue Sky because screw the whole AI crap that Twitter made you not be able to opt out of. Blah blah blah. I actually have been using Blue Sky a bit occasionally, just for random thoughts and stuff. Yeah. If I haven't annoyed you enough on stream, you guys can find my ramblings there as well. And I don't think I'll plug the other two unless I actually post stuff. Yeah, let's see who is online for me to raid. Hop over the actual Twitch site because I can't find it through my regular thing. Someone who's on teen right now. Doing something casual. Not too large of an amount of viewers. I feel bad when I'm very few, being a very small streamer and stream some with a lot of viewers. It feels like more self-advertising than anything. Fury effect. Doing crystal conflict? Yeah, why not? Right. That. Yeah, guess so. Yeah. Gonna hold off on as always. My stream schedule is Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday from about 7 till 10 PST. Unless I have a reason to end sooner, or in this case, that little gimmick that I did. With that, hope to see you guys in the next one.